once. Gore?
Welcome home, General. I'm afraid I must request your surrender.
In the EU, there were a lot of stories about Grievous, that he was an incredible general that got shot down by Dooku in a shuttle and then re-engineered by Dooku to fight as a general. And we talked about that stuff. I mean, it was in a Visionaries comic book that wasn't canon. It's just a possibility. The question is, why would a great general allow himself to be sabotaged, rebuild as a robot, and then just become subservient to someone like Dooku?
There is concern you have lost your focus.
So we called George up, and he came over, and we said, what do you think about Grievous? What's his backstory? Because this is what we heard. George had a lot of ideas about where he thought Grievous came from and what he thought Grievous was about. One of the things that George had mentioned was that he had really wanted to be a Jedi.
But he wasn't Force sensitive. He wasn't able to use the Force. He knew he could never be a Sith Lord.
And his rejection of Jedi status drove him to have modifications done to his body.
These must be trophies taken from the Jedi he's murdered.
But we still elected to keep it kind of ambiguous. Some of the best stuff is because we don't take that mask off and show you what's under there.
You might have been a proud warrior once, but now you're just a pawn in Dooku's game.
I wield great power, Jedi fool!
Takeuchi-san directed this episode, and that was a real treat for me because it was amazing watching him work. He storyboarded his whole episode really quickly, and he designed our adaptation of Grievous and the battle droids and the super battle droid, the Twilight.
Grievous's pet, Gore.
Gore. Yeah, the big dog.
Yeah, who meets an unpleasant end.
Yeah. Just the design of Grievous. Killian Plunkett did a great array of drawings of Grievous before he was a robot. The statues also show a progression of Grievous, as almost as these Olympian-like statues as he descends further and further into the robotic realm of his body and his build.
This was a great chance to show another side to Grievous by showing where he lives.
Nadar! Congratulations on passing the trials.
You were Mistmaster, but it is an honor to finally serve beside you as a knight.
Nadar Veb is based on a very, very popular design from the original trilogy, Admiral Akbar, who is a Mon Calamari. Nadar was designed overseas. He was designed by Studio IG, and there is a sort of subtle but very distinct Japanese feel to his character. They took elements of the Admiral Akbar costume and really cleverly adapted just the collar and the cuffs of the sleeves and stuff, so it felt somewhat like Akbar, but also was very credibly a Jedi outfit.
We wanted to show that even some Jedi are starting to fall under the temptation to use power to try to win the war, and that's not the Jedi way.
I didn't forget to teach you restraint, did I, my old Padawan?
Nadar kind of is a representation of where some of the younger Jedi are going.
In this war, strength prevails. The rules have changed.
Perhaps you are the one who has changed.
Kit Fisto is a little more experienced. He is trying to guide Nadar, but he stops short of really getting involved because Nadar has to make his own choices, and it leads to Nadar's downfall.
No.
Kit Fisto is interesting because he's one of those characters who changes pretty radically from his movie appearances. The episode 2 makeup is quite different to the episode 3 makeup. It's a different color, his eyes are a different shape, he's got fangs. For several reasons it seemed to go more towards the episode 2 design. He just looks a little friendlier and a little more upbeat, and it fit with the type of character that Dave had in mind.
We talked about his lighthearted nature. He's very fun. He's having a good old time in the Clone War. Obviously, in the middle of the arena, he smiles, sees 3PO, he thinks it's funny. He's not really seeing how horrible everything around him is.
He's a fun character. It's a very sort of unusual silhouette because his head is so big relative to his body. We ended up making his chin bigger at least twice and possibly 3 times because he just didn't look heroic enough. The top of his head is so big that we had to sort of keep extending his jawline to make him seem as dashing and debonair as Kit Fisto really should be. What we did have to do with Kit Fisto was shave his head because we didn't know how many tentacles were on this thing. I'm not sure that Clone Wars Kit Fisto really has as many tentacles as he should have, but it's pretty close.
Stand firm. There might be worse things here than Grievous.
Doctor, where are you?
Don't be upset with me, Master. If you were a better fighter, we would not be having this conversation.
Dave Filoni really wanted to put us in a scene together, and the Lair of Grievous was a great one for that.
Matt Wood's Grievous, and so now Dave Acorn, who works with him, is his doctor.
This surgeon droid was sort of the only being in the universe that can give Grievous crap and not get killed for it.
Look what you let those Jedi do to you. You're a walking scrap pile.
Matt and Dave Filoni and I sort of brainstormed a little bit about what he would sound like, and we decided it should sound as far away from Grievous's voice as possible.
What happened to my bodyguards?
They were remotely deactivated for recharge.
So I decided to go with Paul Lind as the inspiration.
Master, you have an incoming transmission from Count Dooku.
Oh, nice.
You know, Dave's decision to go with Paul Lim was great because he just felt the Grievous was so, that big Eastern European sounding villain.
Sometimes I wonder why you submitted to the changes.
Improvements! I submit to no one. I chose them.
But now do Grievous.
Right. See, the thing about it, his voices all sound like his actual voice, which is great. Mine, you need $50,000 worth of electronic equipment to make it work.
He's still evil when he shuts the door and calls Grievous to come kill the Jedis.
Get him, Master!
And like a lot of interesting characters we created in New Clone Wars, we killed him.
Oh no. No!
You know what I was thinking there. C-3PO, when he's disassembled, his head and his body, they still work without his arms and legs.
Now, where are you taking me?
So maybe because Grievous wins, he collects the doctor's head and he takes it with him, so he still got it. And then the doctor complain how come he always puts Grievous back together, but Grievous doesn't take the time to put him back together. And Grievous, well, I like you more this way. I can keep an eye on you. And he's just like part of his control console now or something. So I don't know. It might be something we'd explore because I did like the Doctor a lot.
How exciting!